Hello and welcome to another edition of Mindset Matters. My name is David Whiteley with UL Trades, and here in this segment we provide little snippets that assist you with your trading mindset. So today's thought comes from the book Trading in the Zone, which is one of the classics. We've talked about it a couple of times, and the next couple videos will be based on what I'm about to talk about here. So he talks about, this is on page 120 of the book if you're following along. He talks about the emotional risk of trading, right? So whenever you're in trade, your emotions get involved, and there's an element of risk that you feel emotionally from being in a trade, whether it's going your way or not. There's always that sense of risk, and it's important that we learn to neutralize that as much as possible, because to the extent that we can neutralize it, we can make rational decisions and our outcomes will be better. So he says, to eliminate the emotional risk of trading, you have to neutralize your expectations about what the market will or will not do at any given moment or in any given situation. And then he gives 5 different he calls them fundamental truths, 5 fundamental truths as it relates to emotional risk. And it's important that we accept these 5 fundamental truths. All right, so we're going to talk about number 1 today. Number 1 is anything can happen. And so that's a challenging one, because when we get into a trade, we're getting into a trade because we're expecting some kind of a result, right? We're not hopefully we're not randomly entering trades at a flip of a coin hoping that it goes in our favor. Hopefully we're entering with some kind of an expectation based on our strategy, based on historical information, based on how we've read the market, that it's going to do something. It's going to go our way, whether that's up or down. But regardless of that, once we enter a trade, we have to accept that, what does he say? Anything, bugs out here, accept the fact that anything can happen. So what does that mean? Well, it means it could go in our favor, it could go against us, but it also means that it could take its time to go in our favor, right? Maybe we're expecting a really sharp reaction, and instead we get kind of a slow grind. And sometimes those slow grinds can wear on us, and then we bail out right before it does just what we knew it was going to do, right? And so going into the trade with the mindset and the expectation that anything could happen, well, then you're not surprised, because whatever happens you were expecting, because it could be anything, right? So harder to do, right? Easier said than done. But that's a very important skill I think we have to develop, and that's certainly something that I need to work on. And I tell myself when I get into a trade that anything can happen, and I hope that over time that I'll really start to believe it. But I know I still struggle with that, right? If it's not going in my favor, or it takes its time, or it does something I didn't quite expect, that emotional stress peaks its head, okay? And we got to shut it down. We got to accept that anything could happen. We got into the market. We got a stop loss. We got a target. We're going to trade our plan, and anything could happen. All right, so trade safe. If you appreciate this information, it would be a huge help if you'd subscribe to the channel. That way we can get this information out to more people. If you have comments, if this is something that you've struggled with or something that you've overcome, we'd love to hear about how you were able to do that. Anyway, until next time, trade safe, trade your plan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.